Alright, we jump straight into the video to do the last two. So, 2-match injury, that's the end of the season, effectively. And that guy's out for the rest of the season, effectively. We've got an interesting decision. I think we end up putting this guy in the right midfield, but probably yeah, let's do that. So this guy can be the more attacking one. He was doing such a good job there, I'm sure of it. But whatever, we'll check after. But yeah, this is just a stronger team composition overall. But I'm sure he just was doing so good there. Oh yeah, he started there at 10. Yeah, anyway. He's done alright. He's done alright at both. He's done alright all round, really. But okay, so I think that's it. I think at this point we can remove this guy from the senior squad, and yeah, alright, so let's find the match. I think the other thing is we'll just put this other keeper back in, especially now, like, we've lost the perfect record. Let's not, what's the point in anything anymore now that we drew a match? Might as well bring the other keeper back in. So yeah, we'll put the other keeper back in, and we'll at the end of the day, I think we were saying we wanted to win 10, so we just want to win. That was our original objective, I think we were sort of saying at some point. So I think we've got 9, so let's just try and win one of the remaining 2. Well, obviously both of them, but let's yeah, you know what I'm saying. Right, a win and a loss against these guys. I think I'm just going to start the other keeper anyway, because we didn't bring... unfortunately, in the end, that result, the fact that we drew that match, or won that match, or lost that match, doesn't really matter versus our keeper not having got any development points. The last sub we did probably should have been for the keeper instead of that DC. We were just too focused on trying to win the match when it was just the secondary priority. Those points lead to slightly worse training option, leads to a keeper that's slightly worse for the rest of his career, which potentially could be with us. It's like such a short-termist, silly thing that we just did in that match, to be honest. We should have subbed, and we just a bit blinded. We should have subbed our keeper at the end, and rather than that DC, like, really obviously. I don't know what we were thinking. Well, I don't know what we were thinking. We were thinking we wanted to win the match. And subbing off your better goalkeeper for your worst substitute goalkeeper is not basically the move that you're ever going to make to try to win the match, pretty much. So. Scores again, very similar sort of angle to the last match where he scored. Yeah, I think it definitely is better to be starting the striker. It just feels better when you generate a chance like that there's a, you know, that it gets put away a reasonable percentage of the time. That feels much better on the whole. It may not, I don't know if statistically it's better. I mean, at the end of the day, the other striker we're complaining about, every single match that he started, we won. This guy, we drew one of them, so take from that what you will. Oh, was our defender back? That's pretty funny if they were. I kind of hope they weren't. Let's just go back and have a look. Were we just totally complacent there? Yeah, they were back. They were back. Where are they? Catania, they were back. And they miss out on their development points and everything. What a mistake. Huge mistake. I need to concentrate properly. I think part of it is we probably need to get better at... I'll show you. Yeah, because again, it's a huge mistake. Why? You're saying, oh, we won the match anyway. Yes, we won the match, but the thing is that winning the match doesn't matter at this point. What matters is those getting the right players playing to get them the points. And he's basically the most important player in our team. I think that's true. He's probably the most important one. The one player probably in our whole team that we have that could genuinely probably be like a top player if he gets the really good training options, and here we are not even picking him in the team at all. Huge mistake. We'll quickly do something after this match. Like it's no excuse. We shouldn't make this mistake anyway. We should properly check everything every match. There's a couple things you can do. The thing is, it's because we don't have much time, so we're rushed. We're rushed again. Back to the conversation about we've ended up with 20 matches to play in one afternoon, so super rushed. That's a huge part of it here. But I can show you a couple of things that can be done here to try to that probably would have meant even if we were rushed, we wouldn't have made this mistake. And one thing that we would tend to do to make sure that when we're not rushed, there's a quick check you could do every time that basically kind of guarantees you're not going to miss something like this. At least maybe at the start of the season you could, but you wouldn't, but certainly not at this point in the season. So we're going to leave this Garudo at least until sort of half time. He'll get some condition back, hopefully be quite a bit over 80, and then sub him off when he gets back to around 80 probably. Such a big mistake that is. A mistake that's even way bigger if if these match results matter. To potentially have not selected him and then you lose the match or whatever. Ooh. Well, yeah, I guess part of this is just, that's the thing, at least now we get to show you a couple of things after that help you avoid this type of situation, so at least something useful comes out of it for the content. Right, so he didn't end up over 80 like we were sort of, I don't know if expecting is the word, but hoping, maybe, anticipating. He's ended up at 80. It's just a weird match because there's only one left at this point. It almost doesn't even really matter who gets injured anymore. So, looking at the bench, the main one is we really want this Soria to come on. He's the main one. Having extra position, having multi-position players like that, just makes everything so much more. The squad construction and stuff, tactics, whatever, helps. It's definitely worth something being aware of. Recruiting players and picking your training options and stuff. When assigning those positions, selecting your manager skills, it's just something to always be aware of that helps quite a lot. The match is effectively over. We're not even that like the injuries don't even really matter that much anymore because there's only one match left of the season after this. So we very much are just, I don't know. This is about as close to cruise control as you ever pretty much get, to be honest. Just at this point, especially when the match is clearly won, we'll do the one sub that we said we definitely wanted to do. The other one is probably Martins, but none of the DCs even make sense at this point. Again, don't even particularly care if they get injured. It's just, you know what? There's probably a better move to do. Let's do it. It's probably better just to sub the keeper to try to get more training points for the keeper that we want to sell, so that he gets hopefully better options for next season. To if the boost to whatever comes in before before we get a transfer bid or whatever, his value might be slightly more, possibly. So it probably makes more sense. I'd say just play there's a loose little tip here, which I suppose for the first season in the training league, which is kind of just like play the players that you think will be with your team at least for next season, and it doesn't particularly matter about playing. The ones that definitely won't be there. It's like your priority is. Thing is, there's a lot of priorities here, right? Like you want to build your team up, you want to work out your tactics, you want to construct a squad, you want to. It's quite different for us as well, because we have a very good feel about how everything works, whereas obviously a big part of this training league is to learn the ropes, is to get a feel for stuff, whereas obviously we in a position to have like a much clearer idea about exactly what we wanted to do from day one, which isn't the case for nearly everybody, right? So it's quite a different But anyway, the general rule, especially as you get towards the end, because you're not necessarily expected to know from the very beginning which players will be here, which ones won't. And the reality is probably in the beginning, like, it matters way less, because probably none of them will be. So, longer term, the ones that you're likely to keep are the ones that you pick up along the way. So from the very beginning, you may not have any of those, and any that you do, you'll naturally be playing anyway. But as you get closer to the end, it's going to potentially be more like this, where you do have a choice of substitutes, and, you probably should be looking to bring on the ones that will be around in the future as opposed to the ones that won't. So felt like we did pretty good this match. 15 shots, yeah, quite well. Pretty easy. Alright, let's quickly show the tip about how to not make this mistake. So I feel like there's two things we could do. One that would help if we were in a rush. If we had done this, probably the mistake isn't made. And that one thing is just the under 21 players that you're not using in the moment. Just don't have them in the senior squad at all. Just don't have them here. Don't have them cluttering up the list. Just add and remove them as and when you need them. And if we had it like this, then we probably don't miss it, basically. So that's the thing that we could have done, easily, and that just would have been the case for every match that we wouldn't miss. Because for all I'm not 100%, I think we hadn't missed any others, but there's a chance as well that we missed some other player returning from injury at some point as well. So that's the first thing we could do. Now, this is not good necessarily if you're expecting your assistant manager to play a bunch of matches. It is better to have the youth players in that you want them to sort of use in your senior team to cover for injuries and stuff. But, we're playing all the matches ourselves. This is just something we could have done. The other thing that is more if you have a bit of extra time every match that, I would recommend to do is if you just look at this, what we could do is just sort by appearances. And then basically, we could just look down from the top and we would know, even if there was all those youth players in there, like you would see effectively the ones that you normally use in the list here. And you just go look down, right, he's not selected, okay, we don't want to select him. He's not, we do want to use him, kind of thing. So, right. That being said, let's actually put him in the team now that we're here and now that we're remembering. So I think first we'll just throw him in the 6th sub slot, and then he wants to be here, and then Optime is here. Right, and now the left midfielder is injured. He comes in. He comes here. Now, interestingly, after having just removed all of those players from the team, we probably want one of them back, and the one that we want back is probably the left back. So if we go to the youth squad, we just want to go, so this is basically what I'm saying. So as and when you need them, just add them in, and then, so the why is the left back instead of the right back or anybody else is just because we need a left-sided player on the pitch and a right-sided one, and there's none on the bench. None left or right. So if we need to sub off this guy here, we can bring on the left back. If we need to sub off the guy on the right, we can swap this guy over to the right because he also plays right, and we can bring the left back on the other side. So it's pretty obvious at this point that I don't know if we need Klinkenberg and Newman, but whatever, work that out after. Right, so let's just play the match for now. Got our 10 wins anyway. I think now, even if we lose this last match, it was our best weekly league. It's not surprising though. As a general rule, you should as a general rule, there's going to probably be exceptions all over the place, but as you're progressing and building up your team through the game, in the early stages, you'd expect that your team is going to be better towards the end of each month than it was towards the start, so it's not surprising that the last weekly league is our strongest one. Right, Alphabet FC. I think these guys were good, actually. We played them once and lost. Okay, but I think we'll just go with our wicket keeper. That's fine. I don't want to risk a situation where we forget to sub him on. Let's see if we get the final win to round it out, but it looks like, in the end, the squad that we've managed to put together here and the tactic that we've put together, it just feels like it's going to be good enough anyway for next season. We'll see. I don't know in the longer term, but for now, it feels good enough. Right, they score. I remember how we lost to these guys last time. It was because we didn't play a DMC and they got the 4 attacking players. And I remember this match vividly all of a sudden. I feel like I wasn't too afraid even when they were winning. 'Cause they're very top heavy, which basically means that we will be able to overrun the midfield. So, and because we can overrun the midfield with the how our team set up, we will generate a lot of chances. We know we're just going to generate a lot of chances. So, I'm not too bothered that they scored, because I know that we're going to score. So, wasn't too bothered. I think it's just they obviously may score again. Yeah, obviously it matters that they scored early. I wasn't panicking or anything, because I just know straight away when there's some teams playing some super top heavy formation like this against us, with all of this midfield control, at the end of the day we are playing 6 midfielders. So versus their, if you count the AML and AMR as forwards, which they are effectively for this team, because I'm almost certain they're attacking. So they're playing 4 forwards, 4 defenders and 2 midfielders, and we're basically playing 6 midfielders, maybe 5.5. Maybe you could count this guy as like half midfielder, half forward. But for the purposes of what we're talking about, he can be a midfielder, because we're basically talking about dominating the midfield, controlling the ball, controlling the play, and he definitely massively contributes to that. So at the end of the day, they're just going to be massively outplayed in midfield. They will probably get, because they've got those 4 attackers matched up against our 3 defenders and our DMC, which we didn't have last time. So yeah, I just feel like last time we created a bunch of chances. We got a bit unlucky, didn't quite score what we should have, and they had a few chances and scored more than they should have. But hopefully now with the DMC, that just means that that will be a little bit more solid. And that we hopefully won't concede more than 1 goal. And that before we scored that goal right then, I was going to say, and I feel like we're going to score at least 1 more goal for sure, probably 2 more. So definitely still feel right now almost like that we're still going to score probably at least 1 more over this match, probably. But even then, I'm not too bothered if we don't, because I just feel like it's super unlikely they're going to score 2. It's possible, but I think it's way more likely that we'll score at least 1 more than they're going to score 2 more for sure. I wouldn't put it past the scoring, because we're just going to dominate the midfield that badly, that well. Let's say that I'm not even sure. Like, I kind of feel like we could expect to still score a couple more yet, sort of thing. Basically, is what I'm saying. I think there's way more chance that we win this game by quite a significant margin than what there is of us not winning it. Especially when we don't really even have to yank off our best players, get them off the pitch to protect them from injuries, or whatever, because it's the last match, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we're creating a lot. No, I'll just leave it. I'm happy with how we're going. Was that our first shot this half? Yes, it was. Alright, so we have cooled off quite a bit, but you know, it doesn't even really matter too much. To be honest, I'm paying more attention to how dangerous they're looking than what we're looking at the moment. Just trying to make sure that there's nothing that we could do to just make ourselves a little bit more solid, to not concede 2 goals. Because it's not one that we want to be reactive on. Like, we don't want to concede a goal to them and then try to change some stuff. Then maybe, yeah, we can do something. But I think at the moment they're not looking that dangerous. That's the thing at all. So, to be honest, they haven't basically done anything that looks dangerous at all, other than the one chance they had where they scored the goal. So it's not been a particularly scary match. It must be lagging a bit. Let's just disconnect and reconnect. It's a little trick, you can say a trick, but I don't know, our internet's really bad. Right, anyway, so we've caught up and we're in the tactical change, so let's get the striker off. We're at 70-minute mark. Let's just sub the keeper off, because we, you know, for the points, that's where we want the points. And then the only other change that really matters is the DC. We'll do that in a bit. I guess we'll just sub this DC. Opti. Okay. Very, very comfortable. Yeah, so unfortunately we did make that mistake in that other match. We did get a draw. But on the whole, I don't know, like this set of 12 matches, there weren't that many things that were like obvious mistakes to us. It was pretty decent decision making on the whole. I'm alright with it. I'm alright with it. Yeah, I'm alright with it. It feels pretty good on the whole. I feel like of the set of 12 matches, it was the best. Right, so that's our last cash injection. So, yeah, I feel like this was the best set of 12 matches in regards to our decision making and things like that. Our in-match decisions. And I guess that reflected in the results as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see about these youth matches. It's felt quite epic to play these, to be honest, and now it's still a whole other list, but we'll see how we do. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you for the next videos. We'll hope we're going to do a season roundup as well, I think. We'll see. Maybe it'll happen at the start of next month, but it would have been nice to have done it at the end of this month so we could quickly go through the different league tables and whatever. But thanks for watching. Catch you for the next one.